Sitting with Alex Foye, head writer of Foye Focus, a basketball blog, as well as a contributor to Quibble.com's basketball content. Alex, we're talking social media and basketball. How do you think social media has changed the way fans and followers view the game of basketball and the players within it, whether in high school or professional?
Well, I think just talking in terms of basketball, it's very similar to anything with social media. If it brings a group of people all together to see what they want to see, it's kind of just like looking at a box score with a little bit of comments, whether that's good or bad. People might think that's up for discussion. In terms of players, I think at the end of the day, social media is great for up and coming high school players in order to market themselves. Like, if some some people had social media back in when they were younger, who knows? They could have made it. They could have gotten that scholarship offer. An example you can see, Mac McClung. He's from Gate City, Virginia. About 400 people in his town. No one really knew who he was till Ball His Life picked him up. They started putting his photos, videos, dunks on social media. Kind of blew up overnight, and next thing you know, he's playing at Georgetown for his sophomore year.
Do you think social media has had more of an impact on the professional level, on like the high school level, or like the college circuit more? And if so, well, which one and why?
It's impacted all three levels, I think, pretty greatly. But I think it's a no-brainer. It's the high school level. They're getting high school players, starting when they're even in 6th, 7th grade, like 12, 13-year-olds before they even have offers. They're getting exposure from Ball is Life, Slam, Overtime, all these outlets, like trying to just push these kids and try to like sometimes just make them what they aren't. Like, who knows? They're only 13, 14-year-old kids. But I think the exposure at the high school level through YouTube, Twitter, and just everyone being able to interact with each other, there's night and day from 10 years ago.
Do you think this impact social media has had on the game has been more negative or positive for the game?
Uh, my gut feeling says positive, but there are those outlier cases. For example, like Julian Newman. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with him, but he was being covered since he was in 5th grade because he was 5'2" and he could dribble pretty well. And he's playing on varsity when he's in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Like, it's a great feat for him. Not like by any means, but he was kind of like idolized and personified as a child star per se in the basketball community, and he never grew. He kind of got everything. Everything went to his head. Stopped working as hard. Got some anger issues, and now he's probably not going to go anywhere with basketball. And it's a shame to see.
How would you approach covering high school players on social media differently than it is now?
Me personally, I focus on the game. I try not to look at rankings before the games. I mean, there are exceptions to everything, but try to focus on what's going on in that game at a time. Don't try to personify anyone for who they aren't. Report what you see, talk about what you see, and the true light will shed to some of these guys that some people are putting on them wrongfully.
Lastly, before we wrap this up, what do you think fans who really consume most of their basketball content through social media miss by really just looking to social media for the content?
They miss the game. Like, you can see like the result, but you're missing the 48 minutes of the whole game. If you're just scrolling through Twitter, you see, oh, Celtics won. Tatum had 28 points. He didn't shoot very well, but you're like, cool, 28 points. What you missed is all like the poor shots, all the forced shots, everything that amounted to it. So and you can tell the difference between people who watch film and people who just go on Twitter for the basketball stuff.
All right, thank you.